No, earlier today.
What did you say? 'Cause I don't remember you saying it.
Welcome, welcome. Can you guys hear me? All right, we got the call, we got the Zoom, we got the training. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys watched that, the Richard Brooks show. It's not, it wasn't the Tom Chenault show, it was the Richard Brooks show. It was so good. All right. Welcome Vincent and Pat and Karen and Colleen and Toddy and Cookie and Ashley. Welcome Adrian. Adrian, we can see you, just so you know. All right. And Miss Pamela. For some reason, okay. Can you guys hear me at all? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, you can, okay. Adrian says you can. I would just had make sure my volume wasn't down. Hello, Miss Linda McCormick and Hanny Sy. And woohoo! Emily says hi too. Thank you, Emily. Hi to you.
Hello, Miss Emily. Karen from Perth. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Hanny.
Hey.
Hey,
And we
Colleen.
got somebody here from
Adrian
Perth.
and Toddy.
Tammy, I might have one roommate for you.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Ruth Ellen and Bobby Knight. Woohoo!
Todd Plexco here, 530.
Welcome, Todd. We are glad you made it. All right.
There's only so much daylight that I got to run the tractor, so I've been missing the last few calls.
Yep. Well, and then the time change is coming too, so maybe that'll help, and maybe it won't.
Remember, everybody, use this time to shout out to your teams to invite them to this Zoom.
All right, we got a couple minutes here.
Co-host me up there, Miss Marianne, if you can.
Oh, all right, I will do that. James, are you on yet? All right.
9 to noon would be best. However,
All right, we got another 2 minutes here. If you guys want to, I think everybody comes in muted. So if you want to say something, Tammy, you're not muted.
I'm not muted.
No.
No.
All right. All right. Oh, there's Tommy. Oh my gosh.
There's Tom, or he was there.
Hello, Esther, and who was that? Was that Cookie for a second? Somebody, hey, girl. And Karen.
yes.
All right, we're going to get a bunch of people on here.
Darn, I lost you.
Post everywhere that you can. Reach out, text your teams.
Hi. Marianne and everybody.
Hey,
Miss
Rosanna.
Ellen, hello, beautiful.
Hello.
And Caroline. Woohoo. Barbara, welcome, welcome. I'm just texting.
Okay.
All right. Tom, are you there? Tom.
Of course.
Oh, there we go.
I'm looking right at me.
All right.
Oh.
I'm putting you
Hello.
up there.
Hi, Ashley. Who's that little kid with you? That's awful adorable. Pat Kendall, congratulations for getting your boat fixed. Hello, Emily. How you doing, you little maniac? This is going the right way. We'll be getting started here in about 1 minute. Hello, Linda McCormick, Esther, Karen, Cookie, Bobby, Hanny, 605-310-6774. That's what I'm going to start calling you now. Or not. That would be a bad idea. All right, let's see. Curtis May, hello. How are you? Barbara Stallings. Adiba, how are you? How you doing? Caroline Powell. Hello, Rhonda Coons. Joshua Sanchez. David Peters. It's very exciting. We're getting there in a hurry. Denise Chenault with her peepers on. So, Tamara. Toddy, the stand-up comedian. Tamara Willis, Ruth Ellen, your little guy came in and visited us a couple days ago. That was pretty exciting. People are pouring in here, so let's get this show on the road. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, so here we go. This is going to be an important Zoom that we're recording, I hope, yes. And the reason we're recording it is because there are so many components to this thing that are critically important for every one of you. And it is interview. It is document. It is follow-up. And it is unreasonable request and enroll. And somewhere along the line, I want to make sure you guys believe me. And this contact mapping app is critically important to you. And the three things about an app that are so super important are this: is it fun? Is it easy? And does it make you feel smart? And the contact mapping app, I want you to think about it. Number one, it's easy. No, and if it's not, we need to know why it's not easy, and why, if you're not using it, why you aren't using it. So 100% of you on this call right now should be using the app. And if you're not using it, I want to know why. And there's no wrong answer. So you can tell us it's not working. You can tell us it's too expensive at $10 a month. You can tell us that you just don't understand the need for it and it's silly. But I want to tell you a story first. On November 1st of 2008, a guy named Brian Wallum, who I'm going to do a Zoom with in 2 days, so this is not knocking his anonymity out, came to me 10 years ago, day after tomorrow, and said, Tom, I am at the end of the rope. I am going to end my life. I'm going to die. I want to die. I'm going to kill myself. And I said, oh, no, you're not, Brian. He was a chiropractor, great guy. And I said, no. We're not going to do that. And he and I spent a lot of time over the next couple of months. And a couple of days ago, I sent him a text. I said, hey, Brian, it's Tom. And he called me crying on the phone, because he remembered it was 10 years to the day on November 1st since he made that fateful call to me that kept him alive for the rest of his life. Without contact mapping, that relationship would have been by the wayside a long time ago. But at the end of the day, I document everything. I have a signal set for everything in my life to remind me of important dates in other people's lives. Contact mapping is so much bigger than longevity. Contact mapping is so much bigger than network marketing. Contact mapping is as big as anything in your life, because you're treating people like human beings and treating them the way they need to be treated. And I can't get that across enough for you guys. And I want to, because you are doing important work here. I need to teach you how to do this. I need to have you use this contact mapping app like I use it, because it has made me rich, and not just with money, with relationships and people in my life. And I want that for you. I want you to be unbelievably wealthy in all areas of your life. I was sitting with my buddy Oliver Makurowitz today, and he thinks he's the best connector on the planet. He thinks he's the quintessential I know a guy. And I agree with him. He knows everybody, but he's terrible at follow-up. He knows everybody. He knows more people than me, and I believe people know, and I think people truly like him better than they like me. But you know what? That doesn't mean anything, because he hasn't saved the data. He doesn't, he's got it in his brain, and he's charismatic as they come, but he doesn't save the data. you guys will win this game if you save the data. We just proved it on my radio show that I just did with Richard Brooke that you should watch. But I am telling you, it is 100% of the game, not 99%. It's 100%. And every one of you are our focus group. Every one of you are on the front row. We can train you, but you got to play. So here we go. Adrian, take it away.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So this follow-up piece, you just can't fully appreciate how important it is and how much you are missing out by not doing it at the level that you could be until you start doing it. And I relearn this like once a month, because like once a month I get myself in the jackpot like I did, and I admitted to you guys the other day on our last Zoom, because it's one of those things that we so easily allow to fall a little bit by the wayside for a couple of days, and then it's piled up, and then we're feeling guilty about not having called this person or that person. We let ourselves get into that place. And all of that is lies that we're telling ourselves to keep us from doing the things that we know we should be doing. And what we need is to live into the incredible possibility and the incredible value that arises when you show up. And you can use this tool to make sure that you show up the way you intend to, and to take that batting average way, way up compared to how it would be on your own. And it just shows up over and over and over again. So we talked last week about a guy named Eric who I texted out of the blue as a result of realizing that I needed to dig myself out of this follow-up hole, and it was unbelievable. That whole experience last Tuesday was just a total point of conviction in my life of how much I need to do this and how much you need to do this, because it changes things in your life. And since then, I've been committed to getting myself down to follow-up 0 every day. I am working tirelessly on doing that. And every time that I send these messages, it's crazy what comes out of it. And so I texted a guy today who I saw at a wedding over the summer, who I had just said I'm going to throw one out there in the future and text him. And it turns out that they're grooming him to be the chief product officer of the company that he works with. And he was so delighted to be able to share that information with me and share that big win in his life. And it wouldn't happen, he wasn't going to call me, it wasn't the kind of thing that he was going to call me on the phone and let me know that happened. But because I was able to pop my head up in his life and let him know what was going on, it did a tremendous amount of good. There's another guy named Mike, who I've reached out to over the last week, who we were talking to, who had gone and joined another company. And I had him in my app. He popped up. I called him and said, "Hey, I've been thinking about you. How's it going?" And he goes, I joined another network marketing company 10 weeks ago. I have made 300 phone calls. I have got 6 customers out of that 300 phone calls. I got 1 distributor, and they quit the next day. I texted him. I don't know if he's coming on or not. Is he on?
See him, and I'm going to text him right now too.
Yeah, tell him he's got to get on.
Oh, yeah. And I want Rick to tell that story too. So keep going. You guys are. This is going to be a great Zoom. Don't you guys dare hang up. You are my people. If you hang up, I'm coming over to your house. I'm watching you, Hanny. I'm watching you cooking. I know you're going to go have dinner or something, and I'm coming to your house to get you. So you cannot leave. You stay here. All of you. Claire, I see you snoring. Keep going.
I somewhat resemble and maybe somewhat resent your insinuation that because I'm talking that people are planning on hanging up. We'll talk about that part later. But this guy, so I called him up on the phone, 300 phone calls, 300 like really serious swings of the bat, MBA guy, like smarter than smart. 300 phone calls, 6 customers, 1 sign up as a distributor, and they quit the next day. And this guy is like pulling his hair out. And he needed that phone call that day. And it was like this ordained conversation where he went, I can't believe you called me today. I've been thinking about you. I was going to call you. I'm so glad we're talking. You got to help me. I am in the jackpot. And it's going to turn into a business conversation. It's a life conversation. It's this guy's too smart for his own good, and he's got to fire his brain and hire his heart conversation. And none of those things would happen if we don't show up to the conversation. And if the phone call is not going to come the other direction. Like, he would have been thinking about calling me forever, probably, because that's just the way we are, right? We kind of told him so 10 weeks ago. It didn't quite go he thought it was going to be fine. It didn't quite go the way it was. He was thinking about it. And I don't know that he ever would have made that phone call, but because I did, something magical has already happened and is going to happen. Unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, no. You guys have to remember. You remember when I was doing the Zoom and I was driving down the road and I saw that van on the side of the road with the guy sitting in it, and I don't know how you guys knew it, but anyway, that was this Mike and the guy from Detroit. And so he was selling veggies out of his van. And I ran up to his van and said, "What are you doing with a terrible job like that? Tell me about you. If you can sell fruits," he was selling those little Fruit Loop things. But that's the guy. But I am telling you, everybody is a candidate for this business and a contribution from you if you'll just take the time to listen to their story. Every person you meet has a story that will bring you to your knees if you just give them a chance to tell it. You have to get engaged. You have to master the interview. Everything else will take care of itself. And I promise you guys this. So you're all living on all of the CBD calls. You're living on all the calls. You're trying to learn all this stuff about the vitamins and minerals. You need to know all about the essential oils. I am telling you, master the interview. Master learning how to relate to people, to show them that you can help them get to what they want. And this is all going to take care of itself. I promise you. And so it's the truth. So let me see what we got here. Okay, so what I want to do is, Adrian, I want you to introduce Rick this time because I did a terrible job on the previous radio show. And this guy is such a superb human being that I love him to death. And I want you guys to understand the other half of contact mapping and another reason why this is such very important work that we've never really even showed you. And the reason that I love network marketing. I love longevity. I'm obsessed with what we're doing with the coffee shop interview, with documentation, with follow-up, and this word called contact mapping. Actually, 2 words. So take it away, Adrian.
So speaking of this sort of idea of divine intervention, or whatever you would call that, the fact that Rick came into our lives, the way he came into our lives is pretty remarkable. And the short version of that story is that when contact mapping as a company and as a real product idea was literally a twinkle in our eye, and we were just getting started on having this conversation, Dad was, as he does, is talking to everybody who will listen and sharing the story of what he's doing. And he's in Red Frog Coffee, which is his main stomping ground. And he is talking to somebody else and essentially having an argument with him wherein he is saying contact mapping is like the secret sauce and it's this great idea. And this other guy is going, well, that's baloney and this is just kind of stupid. And so back and forth they go. Well, over in the corner of the coffee shop is this very short 6'5" guy who is contorted onto the lowest seating couch you have ever seen in your life, typing 5,000 words a minute of code and all kinds of crazy stuff into his laptop because he's working crazy hard for this high-powered startup. But somehow this conversation catches his ear. He perks up as they're finishing this conversation and says, I think that's actually a pretty good idea. And that was the beginning of a conversation that led to this huge connection point for him. But Rick is somebody who has an incredible background, did his undergrad at MIT, did a PhD from MIT, is if you take Tom Chenault plus Adrian Chenault's IQ, double it and then square it, we're probably getting close.
Yeah.
And we just could not have been more blessed to have him show up in our life. But more so, you know, it's one thing to have him go, oh, this is a cool idea, and I see dollar signs. What's cool is that his connection is that he believes in this at the core of who he is, and that's what brought him there. So I want to introduce you to Rick, and I want him to share why he got so excited and why he remains so excited about what we're doing.
Did you tell him where he went to school? Did I miss that?
I did. Are you really need to learn how to be an active listener.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, you guys, I just wanted to reinforce that. All right, take it away. Hi, Rick.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing just peachy.
That makes us very happy. You guys are going to love Rick. He is the most delightful man. Who would believe a doctor, a guy, you know, a scientist like this kid, listens to personal development, listens to Tony Robbins, does all the stuff we do at a level you can't believe. He comes in every day. He sends nothing but videos and says, you got to look at this. I love this kid. Here we go. Take it away, Adrian. Interview
him. Well, we're going to have a hard time with Mike's interviewing. So I'm going to let Rick share a little bit of his story of how he connected with this at a heart level and why it's so meaningful to him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. First off, thanks, everyone. It's very nice to meet you all. I've been scrolling through the screens trying to at least glimpse at some of the faces. I wanted to first share a more recent story that happened to me, you know, because Adrian mentioned sort of hitting the jackpot and like you never know when you're going to hit gold, and it just sometimes comes at you from the completely wrong direction or a different direction than you're expecting. You know, I've been really doing contact mapping. I've been doing this follow-up Friday thing, making videos in the group, and you know, being more vulnerable, more active, and more open to even responding to people on Facebook and direct messaging people. Well, 2 weeks ago, just completely out of the blue, I had posted a video and it said, you know, like, look, I miss you all. I haven't really connected with a lot of people from my childhood. You know, just reach out to me. And this one guy that I used to be like best friends, I used to live near his farm. I used to bike and go fishing, and you know, he was on my soccer team, etc. He's like, hey Rick, I just wanted you to know, like, I had this really hard time. Like this week was the anniversary of my son's death. He was 12 months old. He had this like multiple sclerosis, like a disease, and you know, it's just been a really hard week. And just seeing your video, just hearing, you know, like I don't have anyone to lean on, so I just want to like talk to you. And like I hadn't talked to this guy in like 15 years. Like by voice, by text, by anything. Like I knew of him, and we were good friends, but we just lost touch. And just that direct message that he sent me, and I just sent him, you know, like a really thoughtful, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. You know, I have a daughter too. I can't even imagine what that must feel like. And like now, I mean, we've reconnected in a big way. I have follow-ups like every 2 days because I know he's lonely. I know he has a very weak support system there. So even just a quick like, hey Ryan, how you doing, man? I hope, you know, I know like right at the anniversary is a peak, and I know this is very personal information, but like he's just desperate for someone to hear, because when he's through that crisis, you know, his world feels very small and very tight. And just the fact that I was a listening ear at that moment, you know, it wasn't about a money thing. It wasn't about a holy crap, I'm going to sell an app thing or whatever. It was like, holy crap, here's a person at a crisis point, just like I've been at crisis points. And I know that person that was right there to reach out and the hand when I was ready is like, that person is like a hero for life. And it's not that I'm a hero, but it was just like, it felt so fulfilling to just be that person for that. And, you know, so that's just one recent story. So this is where it's like, you just keep doing this because you just never know when you're going to, like, when that one moment's going to be where you're going to have that like huge breakthrough for somebody. So that's one of those things that you just keep going for this, because that stuff happens all the time. But the reason I have a personal connection to this, I know I'm a little long-winded, so please, Adrian can mute me if I'm too long. But you know, my mother was actually a huge inspiration. You know, when Tom mentioned this, is like the reason that it was an idea that jumped out at me was because it was exactly how my mother, who was a secretary at a school, lived her life. And I got so used to it that I almost didn't like recognize it. It's again, that fish in the water syndrome. It's like, oh, this is just the way life is. And there didn't seem to be anything special about it. But what I recognize is that my mom had fierce loyalty from all the people that she knew. Like, everybody knew that she ran that school as the secretary, even though there's teachers and principals and superintendents, et cetera. It's like Jody ran the school, and she had a 35-year career there, and she was well beloved and loved by all the teachers, all the students. But she interviewed every teacher because she was the secretary. She had to take all the information down of all the kids and all their parents when they accepted. But she didn't just take down the information file in a way and just forget it in a filing cabinet. She thought about it, and like when things would happen in people's lives, she would remember the birthday, she would remember things that mattered to them, and she would like send notes or think of them. And especially if they did something nice to her, she would like write it down, and then within a week or two, like a little gift, a card, a thank you, etc. And she sort of knew everyone's sort of not love language, but she knew like their like what mattered to them, and she reciprocated that. And as a result of that, she had just such a fierce loyalty that when she retired, I mean, there's the community outpouring, not just the current teachers, but teachers that had been retired for decades came back to see my mom and are always there for her. And so if a secretary in the middle of upstate New York and nowhere could develop that strong a community, 3,500 students over a 30-year career, all their parents, all, 2 degrees away from those people, their cousins, their relationships, she knew everybody. And so I saw the value of this sort of long-term investment firsthand, which is why when Tom pitched the idea, I was like, I've been looking for a CRM. I've been looking for a way to start aggregating this information because I lose people. I stop being in touch. I forget about them. I stop remembering to ping, or life gets busy. And then all of a sudden it's been 5 years and it's like, I don't have a connection with that person anymore. Someone that I used to live with, it used to be in college where like people were all around you and you just took it for granted that you had this community, but then you move on and that community just evaporates. And it's like, oh, holy crap, I should have been fostering that and tending to it. And so, having lost a lot of that from the past, I'm trying to regain a lot of it and build it for the future. So I have a strong tie into my family as to why this is important. And now, even though I'm an engineer, supposed to be all smart and gifted at this stuff, it's like you took people for granted because it was always about being smart and successful, et cetera. But that only gets you so far. And this, the power of relationships, every year I relearn how powerful it is. And that's why I want to keep investing my time into it.
What's so beautiful about what you're up to, which is truly beautiful, is that where we're all standing is we wish we were that smart. And what you're saying is, I wish I was that connected. And what we've been able to do here is basically connect smart with kind and kind with smart and create that no distance between your brain and your heart. And I've been telling you guys that forever. I think Rick's validation of that is unbelievable. And he looks at it from a different place than all of us. He's looking at it from an intellectual standpoint, trying to fire his brain, hire his heart. We're all trying to be a little smarter, learning all this product knowledge and all that jazz that I talked about it a minute ago. Rick walks in here every day and says, guys, keep your eye on the big picture, which is not how many people are using the app or anything like that. It is the difference that you're making on the planet and the human connection and the importance of that with every human being that you meet. Everything else is going to take care of itself. And that's what we're trying to tell each and every one of you, is that the human connection at the level that you can connect and you can document, remember, is the most important part. If you get that information into that app, your follow-ups don't become work. All of you are afraid of follow-up because you don't know what you're going to say. That is handled the minute you start documenting, because the answer is right there in front of you. My friend Brian today, the guy that I told you from 10 years ago was having serious troubles. I asked him about his wife who lived in Argentina. I asked him about his hobby, which is bees. I asked him about his health. He's had huge heart issues. I asked him about his daughter, Tatiana, who was in the IB program at Niwot High School, who now runs 3 Huckleberry coffee shops in Denver, Colorado. He didn't notice today that he never asked me a question about my life, because I was completely in his favorite subject, which is himself. And I know how much money he's making. I know about his health. I know about his hobbies. I know about his dreams. I know it all. in a very short amount of time because I stayed interested instead of interesting. And it was so easy because I was dealing with what's important for him rather than trying to figure out how to spell lithium, librium, colloidal mineral, all the stuff. Now, the last thing I want to do here before we go over is talk to Denise, because there is no better coffee shop interviewer intuitively and connector intuitively on the planet. And she doesn't do it as a business. She does it as a human being, and she kicks our ass. And I want her to talk because I know every one of you are a whole lot more like Denise than you are like Tom. And I know that you like that about yourself. That is beautiful. So zippity doodah, zippity day. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Here comes Denise Chenault. Hi, Denise. Look at Hanny. Everybody's clapping, smiling, even Ruth Ellen. It is so cute watching. What is wrong with you, Linda McCormick? She's not that nice. Hello, Denise.
Am I unmuted?
Yes. What are you doing?
Hi, awesome. Great. Almost forgot about Halloween candy an hour ago. It's a close call, so I ran by Sam's Club just in the nick of time.
Why? Is it Halloween?
Tomorrow it's Halloween, Thomas.
All right, I lost why we had to do it today.
Well, because I just certainly didn't want to do it tomorrow, but
Okay,
so
good.
anywho, yeah, you know what I love about all three of you so far? I mean, not so far I love about you, but like, anyway, all three of you men. You're right. I mean, the intellect, so now we're going to go to dumbing it down. No, the intellect between Tom, Adrian, and Rick is like genius level. And what I love about
in
it,
reverse order.
yeah, maybe, but what I love is exactly what Rick just said is that, and you know, there's so many Einstein quotes out there that kind of go to the same point, which is it's really about connection and creativity, and you know, it's not necessarily just intellect that is going to you know, people when they're hiring these days, it is much more about connection as opposed to what you know. And so I think that the contact mapping is definitely an unbelievable tool. In fact, I was looking because I have a follow-up today and I couldn't really remember who she was.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah, so her name's Liz. I only have a first name. I didn't get, it was one conversation that I had with her, but I have all her contact information other than her last name. But she owns Little Bird Gallery and has had, which is in Niwot. She's had it for 9 years in Niwot. She has a Palomino quarter horse at Rabbit Mountain Stables right next to where Mark Mead trains. She used to be the secretary of the Boulder Dressage Association. She rides dressage in Western now. She knows Julie Behringer and Greta Behringer from Shining Mountain, both dressage instructors, and she also knows the owner of Lookout Stables, that beautiful barn outside of Gun Barrel. She said the owner's really great and very down to earth, and she said it's one of the most beautiful barns she's ever seen, as she grew up in upstate New York. So there's a little theme there. There's a horse theme, Tom. But what you know, it's important for me, especially places that I frequent, like I want to remember people's names. I want to remember who their kids are going in so I can, you know, have that relationship with them, because it really, it's important. It's important to me to remember people, but the other thing is it makes for instant connection. And so, what else? I was going to say something else. Anyway, it's just like when I walk into a store, there's a store right here that I frequent all the time in Longmont. And every time I walk in, she says, "Hey, Denise, how's it going? How's the new house going?" And, I want to be able to reply back in a cohesive way, like, "Great, how are your 3 kids and their names," and all that stuff. And the thing about me is I have really great intentions in remembering everything. And I always think, okay, as soon as I get home, I'll write it down. Or as soon as I go to bed tonight, I'll put it into contact mapping. And I am telling you, that is the biggest lie I tell myself. Because if I don't do it right then, forget about it. It doesn't get done. I have to do it as soon as I walk out of somewhere and get in the car and do an update. When I was just at Sam's Club, I ran into my friend Kathy Regal, and I said, "Oh my God, we were just talking about you and Ed. Ed was our realtor, and I said, we haven't seen you guys, and are you going up to Missouri a lot?" And we talked for a little bit because they go up to Branson. And but it really, people, if you take that time to, for me, the other thing is if I just dictate it into the contact mapping or have to type it out, it makes me remember better. So it's a dual purpose there. So yeah, anything, what else? And it goes to, let me just say, Tom's been stealing, this is his book, I have it downloaded, but the Dare to Lead book by Brené Brown. Everything she talks about is about vulnerability. Well, what's the cornerstone of vulnerability? It's connection, right? And in order to have connection, you have to actually remember people. And I had a quote here that I loved. Hold still. Okay, no, that wasn't it. Let me find this quote, honey, and I don't want to bore you as I thumb through the notes.
Okay.
But good, so I'll raise my finger when I find it.
That would be beautiful.
Okay.
All right, Adrian, I'm driving home this follow-up. I'm driving home the documentation, because it's not this speech. It's love. It is a touch, and a touch turns into an unreasonable request. I want it. Today we're at the end of the team challenge, so I don't have time to mess around with people. I am like, I'm done. I have to get my team home. Christine Torres, she's a realtor here in town. She asked me a question about the hemp. I called her up on the phone and I said, "Listen to me. I got to get this hemp to you right now. When are we going to meet?" And she wrote me back a second ago. That was the entire speech. That was exactly what I said to her. She wrote me back, "Thank you for reaching out. I'm sure I'm going to be able to bring you some clients. It's just a matter of me sitting my butt down, taking the time and us to talk. Thank you for reaching out and connecting. I hope we have a great day." Just because I was like intentional. I need you to try this hemp. And I had 2 intentions for it. One, I wanted to make sure I got her on the hemp because she wanted it that badly. And I also needed to get it done to help my team challenge partners. So it was important to me to get it done by the end of the month. With the size of our organization, I don't usually have end of the month deadlines like this where I have to do volume or anything. The village is too big. But today and tomorrow, I've got some serious work to do to help some people get over the goal line. And so that's what you need to do. But if you don't have the people in place, Ryan Hayes, my mechanic that works on everything today, because I've got it out there, Ryan Hayes, can I please buy some of the CBD oils for arthritis? It's been hitting me hard lately. Same exact game. I keep it out there. I called him back. I said, "On the way. Give me your credit card number." Not, "Let's do it next week. Let's sit down." He asked me for the order. I asked for the credit card number. That fast. just exactly like they would do at Target. So, Adrian, talk about that exterminator a little bit that you had at your house, because that was a very interesting story to me.
Sorry, there we go. So what we're trying to teach you how to do is two things. One, we've got to learn how to build relationships at scale, right? So if you're just any person who's got a desk job and doesn't need to know that many people, which this actually does not exist, but there might be somebody that is not a network marketer that says, I don't need this. I don't know that many people. It's not hard for me to keep track of them, whatever it is. You are all professional networkers, which means that your job is to build relationships with as many people as possible. And your job is to push it to where it gets hard to keep track of it all in your brain if you don't have a tool. And then contact mapping becomes that indispensable tool that allows you to do it more and to do it better than you ever have before. But the other thing that it does is this thing makes you look smart because it makes you smart, and it makes you attractive as a business partner to other people. And so let me tell you how that played out. So we have mice in our house, which is just really fun. My wife loves it. And so we have tried every humane way to catch the mice in our house possible because we are pacifists, and that didn't work.
Oh, no, you have to think like a what?
We got to think like a cheese.
Why don't you let me come over there? I'll teach you how to think like a cheese. That's the story of my life.
That's a great analogy and a terrible mouse catching strategy.
Okay.
So we tried a whole bunch of stuff. It didn't work. We rent the house that we're currently in. We email the landlord and say, hey, this is going on. And she goes, yeah, that's good. Get some whatever it's called that's supposed to like murder these things, because that's what's going to work. So we get some of that. Of course, that also doesn't work. We caught 0 mice and they're still running around and it's just terrible. So that's been fun. So she finally sends this guy out, and this guy shows up, and the only thing in common that we have is that he's 28, I'm 34. So we're not too far apart in age, but he was an Army Ranger. He did 9 deployments in Syria, Afghanistan, you name it. He is as tough a dude as you have ever met in your life. And I am generally terrified of him, and we have very, very little in common. But he's hanging out at my house. We're having this conversation, and I've got him as a captive audience for 30 minutes. And so in those 30 minutes, I learned that he's got 2 brothers. One of them, he's out of the military. He was in a IED explosion and lost much of the tissue in one of his legs, and is actually hoping to ultimately get a prosthesis, although he doesn't have one yet. His middle brother is a captain in the Army and has deployed several times, has a kid, wants to get out and go in military intelligence. And his younger brother is an ace pitcher who throws a 97-mile-an-hour pass ball, was drafted by the Royals, and would rather do stupid stuff than go to class. And so the Royals just cut him, and he's like ready to kill his brother. And his mom lives in San Antonio, Texas, and blah, 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 blah. His dream is to get out of this crappy minimum wage job chasing after mice in people's houses and start his own business doing that, because he thinks that that's where he's going to make money, and he's getting ready to do that. And so we do this whole thing. He finally, I've interviewed him backwards and forwards for half an hour. At the end of the conversation, I mentioned that I've got this thing called contact mapping, and I ask him for his email address and tell him that I think I might be able to help him with what he's doing. And so I sent him this email so I finished, he goes on his way. I brain dump all that stuff that I just told you, which obviously I would remember like 5% of that had I not put that in my phone. But and this is what's amazing too, is because I put it in my phone, I didn't have to look at my phone to remember all that to tell it to you. It locked in my head just by virtue of having put it in there. But if I hadn't put it in there, it'd be gone. Right. So I put it all in there. I send him a screenshot and I say, hey, this is the thing that I have that I was telling you about. What if every person that you go to their house and have a 30-minute conversation like you and I just had, you had notes like that on these people. And when it was time for you to go and start your business, you could go back to them and play back to them all the things that you remember about them and that you care about them and that you invested in that relationship. Do you think that might make a difference when you start your little pest control company. And needless to say, the guy had a total heart attack, and it was game over, because he went, holy moly, I need this in the tool of contact mapping, but also I love you because you cared about me and you listened to me. And you don't have to be the CEO of contact mapping to do that, what I just described. You could do that in your network marketing business, because the exact same thing plays out. And all that happens is you go, hey, Marianne, it's been great getting to know you. You know, it sounds like you are really not digging this marketing business that you're running these days. You've got these 2 kids, Reese and Kira, who you love more than anything in the world, and all you want to do is be able to spend time with them. And I really, really care about you. And I have a system and a tool that allows me to do this. She doesn't really like Ken. I've never even heard of Ken. But I've got this system that can show you how to do what I just did to you, to other people, and make them feel like $1 million. And we're going to go do this together, and I'm going to train you on how to do that. And we're going to use this system together. And so what you have just created is that holy grail, which is duplication, because you can show your people how to do this so that they can be successful and you can all do it together. And so that was a really big bomb that went off in my head in terms of why, I think we kind of have talked about that before, but like, contact mapping isn't just the secret sauce. Like, it can be the non-secret sauce, and you can use it to have people understand not only how you did it, but how they could do it too, because it's not magic. It's a tool.
Now, did you tell the exterminator story yet? That's what happens right there. That's what Rick was just talking about. You know, where you think the person's listening to you because they've got their face on you in the whole shot, and you tuned out because you were so busy getting ready to respond and look brilliant. Give up everything except being so completely present to people that it's almost creepy. And there's a guy on here that is very good at it. I don't even see him on here. I know he's here, Chad Williams somewhere. But I am telling you, listen intently, people. It is the most important part. We want to be heard. Think about it. Denise, always on her phone. Dinner, I'm having dinner with her. She's talking. It's unbelievable. And then, is that right? No, not true. Look, I know. But the point I'm trying to make is when we're going places, the first thing you say to me is that, would you please put your phone down? I'm over here. Talk to me, Tom. You promised you weren't even going to bring it in the restaurant. Go put it in the car or turn it off. Does that come out of your mouth once in a while, honey?
I can't remember the last time it didn't. No, I'm kidding. Love the one you're with. There's a Crosby, Stills and Nash song. Love the one you're with, Tom. Love the one you're with. That's what I always say.
Amen, baby. So here's what I want to ask you about that Brene. I read that Brene Brown quote, but coming out of your mouth, if you were to read it, it would have so much pop that I think you should read it to people and then tell people what it meant, because your voice is so good.
Oh, shut up. No, people can read it. No, you know, the book is great. It is a little bit more like around, you know, traditional organizations, but you know, I just think that it's really great that there's this is like Brene Brown. She's like the scientific evidence behind why contact mapping works. That's why I love her. You know, because relationships are everything. And, you know, especially in what we do, if you can't move and inspire your team unless you have that connection with people, for one. And then two, when you're asking people to, you know, when somebody has gotten to the point in their life where they're feeling like they have no hope to be able to dream again, to be able to keep their head above water, and you're saying, I can get you there. The only way they're going to say yes is through an absolute trust and vulnerability and connection. And so in order to do that, you have to do exactly what Adrienne was saying, which is you have to know their blood type. And you have to, in order to, it's layers of connection. You can't just usually go there first thing. You have to, peel back the onion and you have to do the pithy little things like, their family and who they're married to and where they work and all that stuff before you go deep. But, their intuitions are really good. And if they feel like they can't trust you, if they feel like they're not safe, then they won't go there. And so having that connection from a listening standpoint where they know that you're there for them and they're the only ones that matter in this moment, if you go there, then they'll tell you anything you want to know. I mean, strangers tell me the craziest things. And so, but then the other side of the coin is that it can't just be a one-way street. So if they're getting vulnerable and telling you information, you've got to go there too. And so safety begets safety and vulnerability begets vulnerability. And the more you can get there and have that connection, then they're going to hang their moon on you, so, and that's what we need. That's why we always say this isn't necessarily a numbers game. Yeah, you got to get in front of the people. You got to make the connection, but it's not a numbers game. Not when you have a connection that is so deep that people are like, you know what, Denise, you're my gal. I'm going to pin all my hopes and dreams on you, and I trust you enough to be able to do this. When you have that kind of connection, then it's not a numbers game.
You guys follow all that? So there's a lot of people on here that don't do this call every week that are here, and I hope that this has really helped you. Follow-up is so important, and when you've got something to follow up on them about other than asking for the sale, you're not going to be freaking out so much. When you're related to these people, you're not going to be freaking out so much. In risk of sounding something stupid, are you talking about something? Yeah. So Daniel Hodge, this is really good. Contactmapping.com is an app that resides in front of the Youngevity Go-To app. The Youngevity Go-To app is unbelievable. I use it every day, but it is inside of that. And I keep telling you guys, so that is what that is. So any of you, you're great. Okay, so I'm looking at that. Okay, so you guys, on this call, there's 64 of you. We lost 2 people, and I'm not happy about that. So I got to figure out why they left. But at the end of the day, you always want to play a game, and the game is pretty fun. It's called LCS. Anybody ever heard of LCS? That means let's call somebody. So what was Denise just talking about? What was she talking about? Anybody?
It's a quiz.
Oh, she was talking about Brene Brown, wasn't she? Oh, geez, I got to put that in my book. Oh, good. Met Warren Buffett, now working for Brene Brown. Let's call her. Dun 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 dun.
Right now, so if you leave me a voicemail or shoot me a text, I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Talk to you soon. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1.
Be happy in your voice. What are you doing? It's Tom Chenault, and I am thinking about you, and I'm thinking about your dad, and I'm thinking about Warren Buffett, and I'm wondering what you're doing in your new job, and I'm wondering why you don't call me, and I wonder why you don't have my phone number, which is 840-7222. I want to hear what's going on with your new husband, who I haven't met. I can't believe it, because you must have gotten married someplace and then come to Colorado to see your dad's house and forgot to call Tom. So what you need to do is call me as fast as you can, or I'm going to take it personally. I know you're busy with Brene Brown and all that important shit, but guess what? I don't care. I want to talk to you as fast as possible. I love you. I'll see you later. Done. One bad word in front of the kids. Sorry, Ashley's little boy there. Hello, Ashley. Hello. I'm sorry I said a bad word. Terrible. I'm grounded for a week. Oh, another kid right behind that. And I cussed. Oh, 2 pieces of candy and a bar of soap for you. Okay. Anybody else got questions? Language, there are children. That's exactly right. Rick chastised me, and I don't know why I did that. I don't even remember it until I kind of said it. I don't, because here's the problem. Okay, so is there a follow-up schedule you go by? Yeah, that's a great question, Mark. And yeah, there is. It's called intuition. And, you know, nothing is more powerful than I've been thinking about you. You told me your house was getting foreclosed on. You told me that you've got arthritis. You know, Ryan Hayes, the guy that just talked about his arthritis, you know, if I wait a month to follow him up on the hemp, he's not going to be happy because his arthritis is right now. So most of it, the timing is right there. How do I ask people for phone numbers? I get info, but I can't. Okay, that's crazy. So number one, Facebook. So many of you ask about phone numbers on Facebook, which is preposterous because you can call them on Facebook. You just hit that phone and it calls them right there on their computer. The light's turned on, you know they're online, hit that button, and then they pick up the phone. Don't hit the video thing because they don't want to see you too badly because they don't know you yet, but they'll answer that phone. So that's number one. On the phone side of it, ask them, was anybody with me? No, Oliver. So this guy's name is Gurman or something. This is today. Gurman. So I'm with my wife yesterday at a dive restaurant called Goodfellows. And at Goodfellows, all of a sudden, the cook runs out of the kitchen and runs over and hugs me while I'm actually trying to prospect the next table, which was 2 guys from AA. So he kind of interrupted me, so I didn't really want to talk to Pedro so much. But I said, Pedro, what's going on? And then I said, where's your son been? Because the son used to work over at Two Dog Diner, right, honey? You're unmuted. So I said, where's he working? He says, he's working at the car wash. And I'm going, gosh, he's working at the car wash. He's not even making any money then. So today I walk into Two Dog Diner, and there's Gurman. And Gurman is the name of the kid. And I guarantee you his name can't be, it's spelled German. Anybody here? What is it?
German.
Okay. His name is Herman. So I walked into Two Dog Diner today. I looked at him and I said, this just happened today. I don't even have him mapped yet. And I said, Herman. I didn't say anything because I couldn't pronounce. I didn't even know his name was German. I'm glad I didn't say, hey, German. But anyway, Herman, I want to talk to you. And he looked at me and I go, give me your, and I just took a picture of him right there on, I said, I need to take your picture. And he about swallowed his cigar. And then I said, get over there with your dad. So he didn't feel like it was creepy. And I said, I'm going to call you. So before we get out of here, guess what we should do? Let's call them. Gee, Merry Christmas. That's the easiest answer in the world. I have nothing in common with this kid. Nothing. Ashley, I'm really sad about saying that bad word. And Emily.
Hey, this is Mom speaking. I'm unfortunately, I cannot reach you at the moment, but leave me a voicemail and I'll get to you back as soon as possible.
At the tone, please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
Herman, it's Tom Chenault, and I am really, really happy to have your phone number. I have thought a lot about you, and I see you in that restaurant, and now I hear you're working at the coffee shop, at the car wash, and I really, really want to have a chat with you. I think I could help you change your life and have an incredible, incredible experience by letting me mentor you a little bit. So if you're up for that conversation, I would really love to chat with you. And if you don't return this message, I'm going to take it to mean that I need to stay away from you a little bit on that conversation, yet still love you when I see you in the restaurant or the car wash. Because I'll tell you what, I love you, I love your dad, and nothing would be better for me than helping you have a great life. So take this as a huge compliment. I'm going to text you right now. I understand you probably didn't pick up the phone because you didn't know who it was. I should have sent you my contact map earlier. And I will actually explain to you what that even means. So I'll talk to you before you know it. Bye-bye. Unreasonable requests. So what did I do there? I fire hosed the guy, number one, which is probably not that good an idea, but I hit him with how much I love him, which is true, how much I think about him, which is true, and I gave him an unreasonable request right there when I said, let me mentor you. But who would turn that down besides Adrian? You know what I mean? So we live in a very busy world. How to interacting. Yeah. Nicely done, Mr. C. Golly, that's the great Lorette Willis, who is the unbelievable woman of all time, Dr. Lorette Willis. You guys have no idea what she's doing over and above longevity in the world of changing the lives of women and bringing them to her faith. It's incredible. She's a beast in a good way. All right, so next. Anybody else got anything? Hermione. Hermione's the person in Harry Potter, the girl. Hermione.
That's Hermione.
Oh.
There you go.
All right, got it. So I make a little mistake. What the hey? What the hey?
Think of Herman. Herman is how you say
got
the guy's name. Herman.
Herman. All right. Anybody else got any question? Oh, we picked up one more. Who in your database has Harry Potter? Denise, tell them.
What?
Who got up at midnight, put the nose on, put the glasses on, went to the theater without you, with the kids, to watch the Harry Potters?
At
Most
midnight.
of them.
You did.
No.
And you read all the books before the kids.
All the books.
Yes.
All the books.
But
Lord Voldemort. What?
do you have a connection to Harry Potter himself? That's what we want to know.
No. Sorry.
What about, what's her name that wrote the books?
I've been to Edinburgh and
Yes, we have. So did Adrian.
I was born in Scotland.
You were? Wow. Okay, Adrian, there's a question there that everybody needs to know. How do you update the beta contact mapping app? And that's super, super, super easy. And that is super, super important. So he's going to teach you that right now because I don't know the answer.
Yeah. So if you were on the beta version, which means that you would have downloaded the app in May of this year, it only applies to you in that case. You need to delete the app off your phone and then go download it from the App Store directly and log in with the same credentials. And if you have any problems with that, you can email that hello@contactmapping.com, which Rick just put in the chat. But again, that only applies to you if you download it in May before we put the first official version out. Otherwise, you are good to go, and you'll just update as updates come the normal way. So thank you, and Anne, give me a shout if you have any problems.
And lots of you are going to GoPro. Cheryl Morley speaking at GoPro. I'm speaking at GoPro. There's a woman out there named Sally Cleland who's got 2 different people that want to join in a room. So that makes the cost of a room that's divided by 2 now divided by 4. So anybody that wants to do that, let me know, and we'll do that. So I'm familiar. Yeah. Done, done, done. So beautiful. No, Roberta, that's good. You're going to send her to a tool. You're going to send her to something that's going to help her. You're going to send her to help out.
Verna.
I said Verna. What did she think I said?
Roberta.
Oh, well, that sounds like Verna. It's better than Hermione. So anyway, hello, Verna. Whatever. Yeah, send him a tool. Send him to HempFX, whatever it is you think. And good. Tamara, talk to Sally Cleland. So I wonder if she's on here. If not, I'll hook you up. So good. That's exactly what we wanted.
Well, people are having success in just giving, a little sample of the HempFX of the cream. Just, like, here, try this. Put this on your knee.
All right. Sorry about the sound. Turn your volume up, Karen. I'm talking as loud as I can. Let's see what else. Hello, Yanni. I love you. You're such a good kid. Unbelievable. Yanni has just joined us. He was an employee of GoPro, and they decided to get rid of all kinds of departments there, and he lives in Wichita. So what Yanni did was he said, I'm going to take control of my own destiny, and I'm going to jump in the foxhole with Doug Coe and Adrian. And this weekend, Nikki, Yanni, a bunch of people are putting on an unbelievable event in Wichita, Kansas. So Eric Worre's loss is our gain. And it is unbelievable. Unmute Yanni for me because I want him to say hi. And I want him to talk a little bit about how his life has changed since he plugged in with Doug and Adrian and all those people. He's working at Royal Caribbean. Never met a kid in your life that loves his mother more. Just fluent in Spanish to the point that he was Eric Worre's translator. This kid is all of it and a bag of chips. I love him with all my heart. Everybody say hi to Yanni.
Hi, guys. I wasn't expecting to jump on and actually speak. I was listening on my way home from work right now. But yeah, I've decided to join on and have been just plugged in as much as I can, keeping up with work and just doing my thing. I'm excited. I'm pumped. And I think people can see that. My energy, everything has just changed, and the way that I think has just changed. And I am 200% in. Mentally, everyone sees me working on something, and that alone, that focus alone, has made it to where everyone is curious what is going on with me, what changed. And I found Tom and I found Denise, and I plugged in with Adrian, and I got Doug hitting me up, and I connected to the right people. I was able to network with the right guys. This is awesome, and I feel awesome.
And thank you. And we love you. You make me cry. I mean, it was so funny. He came by the hotel for 5 minutes and he stayed for 3 hours, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I went by. I really thought I was going to run into you. You were going to be surrounded by like a big old posse of people, and I'd get to say hi and, maybe take a picture and be out. But no, you guys were waiting on me, and that was amazing. Definitely felt the love from you guys, and continue to do so.
I'll tell you, the reason that happened was because of the testimonial from my wife about who you were as a human being. And we moved people around to make sure we had time for you because you're that kind of rock star. Another person, you guys know that my fitness has changed an amazing amount lately. I lost almost 60 pounds. I'm down 58 pounds. But what you don't know is Adrian and Callie, Adrian's wife, have been really, really heavily involved with something called Camp Gladiator, which was born down in San Antonio, Texas, and Austin, Texas, with Adrian's good friend in college, a guy named Brandon Brickley. So they started this thing in Longmont, this kind of a CrossFit boot camp thing, and Adrian started going. And Denise and I went when I was 60 pounds heavier with our mother-in-law, and they almost killed me down in Lafayette, Colorado. But after I peeled off all the weight, and Marianne went too, I forgot about that, Marianne, I apologize. And all of a sudden, we've got a Camp Gladiator a block from our house. And this woman is the nicest mother of two you have ever met in your entire life. She took me on, and I'm like 20 years older than everybody in there. She just made sure that I was never hurt. I was never too tired. She just took care of me until I could catch up a little bit with the class. And I love her. And lo and behold, she's on here tonight too. And I just want to give her a shout out for taking care of me like I want to take care of you people in network marketing. She's taken me in the form of health. And I love her with all of my heart. Hello, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. Hang on. Hi. How are you? I'm setting up for camp right now.
I know you are. And I know this is just
I
going to
love
take.
you guys too. You have no idea. And everyone out there, I'm just going to say, like, Tom, Denise, and Adrian will take care of you. I may take care of them, but they take care of everyone else just as much. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. So I know you, and you are fantastic, and you keep your chin up and your chest out. And I'll see. What is today?
Today is Tuesday, so you're going to be here tomorrow, right?
I got to see you tomorrow then. All right. I got to go eat
Bring
some.
a pumpkin.
All
We should
right.
bring a pumpkin. That's right.
Yeah, bring a pumpkin.
We're not even it's snowing here in Colorado. We have to go do this workout outside, and it's nauseating. You know, you have to be all pumped up and run around, and I look like the stumbling moose already, and we have to bring a pumpkin tomorrow, which will be even worse. So I'm thinking about wearing my red dress.
If you did that, I think it would make all of our day. We would be like so excited.
All right. Love you. Thank you so much.
You
Bye-bye.
guys too. I got to ring off, but thank you for this. You have no idea. You guys are brilliant among everything else.
Love you, Jen.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
So you guys, can you see I hope you feel this. Everywhere we go, we are letting people be a part of our longevity life. Everywhere we go, we are letting people be a part of our network marketing life. Everywhere we go, we try to drop people off right where they want to be and look for the greatness in everybody we meet. And then we document it. And then we follow it up and wait till the exact, Adrian, how many Camp Gladiators have you done so far, approximately?
Approximately 121, exactly.
And how long has Jen been involved with longevity?
About 36 hours.
So Adrian waited 119 classes to wait for the right time to have the enrollment conversation called Jen, this is for you. And it wasn't about his agenda. He loved her at the first time he met her. He had to wait for the right time for her so she could hear it. And I'm so immensely proud of Adrian for not running her off. You know, it takes as long as it's going to take. Don't blow the relationship. Just let it be. And if you talk to Karen Hammond, if you talk to Pamela Schwartz, if you talk to Marianne Niehaus, I'm just scrolling up. If you talk to Leslie Johnson, if you talk to Lorette Willis, if you talk to, you getting my drift, Tamara Willis, if you talk, I'm just going through this thing because these people have all made it through 65 days in a wake up, and these people have more leads in their business with coffee shop interviews than they know what to do with. So they don't have to pressure anybody. Pamela Schwartz, I hope I said that. They don't have to pressure anybody because they've got so many people that they don't have to sell wine before it's time. They are not desperate. They are in love with people and they know their job is to serve. And that's why you're using the contact mapping app. So I'm going to come to your house. I've got everybody on this list and I'm going to go look in the contact mapping app right now. And I'm going to check your activity. And if you're not using the app, if you're not documenting, I'm coming to your house. I'm coming over. I'm just coming over. Put the coffee on. I'm coming over, Ruth Ellen, and I'm going to find out why. I'm coming to your house, Rhonda Coons. I'm going to find out why. Hattie, put the coffee on. Dr. Ipe, who saved my life health-wise, Right there, that guy right there, Dr. Ipe. The guy that, with Sanjeev Javia, with Clint Flanagan, with Dr. Wallach, did an intervention on Tom Chenault, said, you are committing suicide with a fork. I know you're taking all the vitamins and minerals, but we got to take your health on. This guy saved my life. God bless you, Dr. Ipe. But if you're not using the app, that's no hall pass. I'm coming over to your house. I'm checking right now. Charles, coming to your house. Sharon Reineck, coming to your house. Rob Coates, old network marketing legend, coming to your house. Unbelievable. Jim McCormick, old dog, Nutrex, you can do it. Right up there, look at Chad Williams, you can do it. Karen Hammond, you are kicking it hard in Australia. Give me Karen Hammond, somebody right now. I can save you a trip on the flight to Diana Harper, just updated. Unbelievable. That's the cutest thing in the world. Hello, Karen Hammond. Where do you live?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Where do you live, you cute accent little thing?
I'm in Perth in West Australia.
You guys thought Perth, Australia was this. Okay, so Australia is the size of the United States. And Perth is like Washington, like Spokane, Washington. And all the hot spots are down like Miami, Florida, where Pamela lives. So when you go to Perth, you think you are going to the edge of the earth and it's going to be all smokestacks and mines. What people don't know is that Perth is like the most beautiful, most hip, most cool city in all of Australia. And
so you need to come here.
I've been there.
Get more people and then you can come here.
I love that. I'm coming.
Yeah.
But
only if you bring Denise.
Oh, no. She
and
eats,
Adrian.
And he eats too much too. It is unbelievable. Talk to us.
Absolutely.
Okay, talk to us about your experience in 65 Days in a Wake Up.
Well, since I think I first came on contact mapping back in April before you really got going with it, I think. And then when I came back from conference after watching you and Denise from the back of the room, I watched you guys and I thought I need to know more about this 65 days in a wake-up call. And so I quietly left the room and came back to Perth in Australia and said, yeah, that's what I need to do, and use the tool contact mapping. And so I've been doing it now for about 40 days. Yeah. And it's not always easy, but if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, because this month I'm leveling up, and I'm leveling up because of contact mapping, and 65 days and a wake up has kept me accountable. And I actually followed up with someone that I was a little bit nervous about doing, because she's quite high profile, and I did it. And when I rang her, she said to me, I've been watching what you've been doing. I sold my business and I've been renovating my house. And then I was just waiting for you to give me a call before I found a company. And so she's joining me, and she has a whole group of people that are coming along with her. And I'm so excited, because this is my real major number one, and I now need 8 more. So it's going to happen.
Gosh,
I'm excited.
that makes me cry. You guys.
Yeah, well, it makes me cry too, because I'm like, oh my God, it's that easy. It really is that easy. And I didn't think it was going to be that easy. And I'm also learning your lingo. I think you use lingo in that country language. And what I did is I used my mirror in my bathroom, to my husband's horror, and I used it as a whiteboard. And when I was listening to your promotion of this event today, I actually wrote your words on my mirror in my bathroom and used some of those words in my call with her. And she was just like, okay, I'll be at that meeting, and let's work this together. And I'm like, oh my God, really? To me inside, I was so excited. So I am really excited. And I'm thinking I may even fly over to New Zealand to actually be there and with her. I'm just so excited about it. So thank you for creating contact mapping. Thank you, Tom, Denise, and all of you. And I'm glad I walked in the room at the convention because I came to San Diego to check you all out, secretly stalking everyone. And I came back thinking, yeah, this is the company I really want to be with. And yeah, as I said, in 40 days, I'm getting the results that I really am excited about. So there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, you got that. That's so beautiful. And Perth, we're coming. I love climbing up. Perth is so beautiful, and then you climb up, and there's this beautiful area that you go
Kings
up. What's it called?
Yeah, Kings Park.
Oh my God, you guys!
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, everybody, this is my bucket list right here. I am a recovering alcoholic and network marketer. Would you still like to have a cup of coffee? That's my coffee cup that I made in here. I know, I made it in Heritage Maker, but play like it's your bucket list and put Perth in there right now.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Put Perth in. And Carmen interviewed me. That was pretty cute. And it's all, I mean, you guys, this is it. So I love you all with all of my heart. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are my focus group. You're our focus group. You're Denise's focus group. You're Adrian's. You are the most important thing to us to have you be successful. Every one of you, Jennifer, all of you. That's that important. So everybody have a great night. I've got to go sober up. So,
and I can tell you from someone that didn't really know you guys, to getting to know you and your family is just absolutely wonderful. And I really feel this sincerity in every word that you all say. And that's what's really important. So thank you.
And Daniel Hodge, thank you for your side note. I love you guys all to death. I'm glad we did this too. We'll see you before you know it. Download the app. Use the app. It will make you feel smart. It will be fun. And it is easy. Yanni, you're my man. I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.
Have a blessed night.
Bye, everyone. God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Good night. I love you guys.
Bye.
Thanks for a great story.
Bye, guys. Bye.